What if the Earth was actually flat? The center of gravity on a flat Earth would be right in the middle. And the farther you got from the center, the stronger gravity's pull would be. Because of this, you'd never be able to walk to the edge of a flat Earth. Gravity on a flat Earth would also make trees grow diagonally. This would happen on most parts of the Earth. And objects closer to the edge would fall sideways instead of downwards. Everything from the clouds would fall straight to the middle of the Earth. The oceans would all get sucked into one mega ocean in the middle. Flat Earth proponents claim the sun travels in circles. They say around 3,000 kilometers above the flat Earth. This means there would be no day and night cycles on a flat Earth. No time zones. And definitely no seasons, either. So I believe it's safe to say we live on a globe, but feel free to change my mind in the comments.
Follow for more.
Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know the Earth is flat.
Seriously?
Astrology and flat Earth or true Earth are symbiotic. You cannot have one without the other. If you have a ball and you are spinning, flying through space, chasing this fireball, your constellations would change every now and then. And our constellations have never changed. The stars have never changed. We have the same 12 zodiac signs that we had back in the Dendera stones in Egypt over 5,000 years ago. We're not moving. Every single ancient society knew this. The Mayans, the Aztecs, the Hindus, the Egyptians, every single ancient culture knew that we live in a geocentric universe, not a heliocentric where we are spinning, chasing this ball of fire while all of these other planets are rotating around us, while all of these other stars are rotating around us. If that was the case, Polaris would move, number one, which is the North Star, and it doesn't. Number two, all of the constellations would not rotate solely around Polaris, but they do. Therefore, we are the center of the universe. Believing in the Big Bang Theory is something that is very common today, where people think, we're the product of an accident and that, we don't have a creator. We're just here to consume and live our best life and not live up to our potential. But if you're the center of the universe, that means that you're very special. That means that you have a creator who is very conscious and cares about you. And when you see yourself as being watched by these heavenly bodies above you 24/7, you start to take your life a little bit more seriously.
200 Proofs Earth is Not a Spinning Ball by Eric Dubay. 1. The horizon always appears perfectly flat, 360 degrees around the observer, regardless of altitude. All amateur balloon, rocket, plane, and drone footage show a completely flat horizon over 20+ miles high. Only NASA and other government space agencies show curvature in their fake CGI photos and videos. 2. The horizon always rises to the eye level of the observer as altitude is gained, so you never have to look down to see it. If Earth were in fact a globe, no matter how large, as you ascended, the horizon would stay fixed, and the observer or camera would have to tilt, looking down further and further to see it. 3. The natural physics of water is to find and maintain its level. If Earth were a giant sphere, tilted, wobbling, and hurtling through infinite space, then truly flat, consistently level surfaces would not exist here. But since Earth is in fact an extended flat plane, this fundamental physical property of fluids, finding and remaining level, is consistent with experience and common sense.
Did the Bible actually reveal that the earth is flat? In Genesis chapter 1, verse 7, God says he made the firmament and divided the waters above from the waters below. And while we are told to take it metaphorically, this verse has fueled many theories on how the earth is actually flat, but that might not be all the evidence. Well, you'll see. In 1962, the US government performed what is now known as Operation Fishbowl, where they launched a nuclear missile at the sky, claiming it was to see how the nuclear reactions will react in our atmosphere. But looking at the footage of the experiment, it really looked as if the government was trying to break the firmament. No one can actually be sure, but
the Earth is flat. The yin and yang is the sun and moon rotating around the magnetic North Pole. The North Pole is an electromagnetic field, and it's a pole of electromagnetic energy. Above the North Pole is Polaris, the all-seeing eye. Earth is a giant electromagnetic field, and you are an electromagnetic field. The plane of inertia is where we get the word planet Earth from. The atoms that create this reality are dualistic, positive and negative. This manifests into everything, good and bad, yin and yang, sun and moon, masculine, feminine. The sun positively charges you, gives you energy. The moon negatively charges you, takes away your energy, yin and yang. The moon governs the water on the earth and inside of your body, hence why all of the tides follow the moon. Earth rearranged is heart because it's the heart of the electromagnetic field, the middle point. This is why we have good and bad here, because it's the balance. This is why the Freemasons stand on the checkerboard, good and evil. Quran 65:12, Allah, it is He who created the seven heavens. The seven heavens are the seven planets, the seven cosmic energies. The start of the solar system is the stars. The Wizard of Oz map has Emerald City in the center. This is symbolizing the center of the earth, where the emerald green aurora borealis comes out of. The stars with no light pollution create the arch, which is the sky god Nut in Egypt, which then got turned into the Masonic Royal Arch.
You won't believe what I found. Give me some volume on this. Keep watching.
Finally, real proof the Earth is flat.
One of the greatest proofs that the Earth is flat. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. We're orbiting in the heliocentric model of the Earth, the Sun at 66,600 miles an hour. While doing that, we're chasing the Sun at almost 500,000 miles per hour. So we're corkscrewing and spinning through an infinite universe, never to return to where we were before. The Georgia Guidestones had a little hole drilled in the middle stone, and if you look through it, there is the star Polaris, our North Star. How can we be traveling in all these different directions, traveling infinite distances, and that star just always remains in that hole? There's no way it would be in that circle a day, let alone 40 years. But it was there.
Somebody blew it up.
Researchers spent $100,000 to prove the Earth is flat, and you won't believe what they found. In 2019, researchers aimed to provide evidence for a flat Earth by purchasing ring laser gyroscopes, which are highly precise instruments for measuring Earth's motion. They hypothesized that if the Earth were a sphere, the gyroscopes would exhibit a 15-degree drift per hour. Despite their confidence that this wouldn't be the case, the devices unexpectedly displayed a 15-degree drift when activated. Astonished by this observation, the researchers were reluctant to accept it as conclusive and continued their investigations. To eliminate potential external factors, they conducted further experiments in a zero-gravity chamber and a bismuth chamber, but the gyroscopes consistently demonstrated the same 15-degree drift. Determined to explore alternative methods, they devised a new experiment involving two boards with holes, placing the boards at a specific distance apart. They positioned a camera on one side and a light on the other. According to their reasoning, if the Earth were flat, the camera would detect the light at the same height as the cameras. Conversely, if the Earth were round, a light would need to be elevated for the heights to match.
3 proofs that the Earth is flat. Part 1. Number 1. Airplanes do not adjust the angle of their flight, which is strange. If the Earth were a sphere, they would fly into space. Number 2. The temperature in Antarctica and the equator differ significantly, although the distance from these places is extremely insignificant. When you understand that the Earth is flat, then everything becomes clear. Number 3. If the Earth were spherical, ships would not even see lighthouses at night. But ships always see lighthouses regardless of the distance. Subscribe to learn more proofs.
One of the greatest proofs that the Earth is flat. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. We're orbiting in the heliocentric model of the Earth, the Sun at 66,600 miles an hour. While doing that, we're chasing the Sun at almost 500,000 miles per hour. So we're corkscrewing and spinning through an infinite universe, never to return to where we were before. The Georgia Guidestones had a little hole drilled in the middle stone, and if you look through it, there is the star Polaris, our North Star. How can we be traveling in all these different directions, traveling infinite distances, and that star just always remains in that hole? There's no way it would be in that circle a day, let alone 40 years. But it was there.
Somebody blew it up.
Okay, this actually the best argument I've ever seen for flat Earth. I'm serious. And I say this as someone, I studied physics for 2 years and I have an engineering degree. I'm genuinely impressed by this argument. I don't know why it stuck out to me so much. I never give a fucking shit about flat Earth, but like, dude, is kind of beautiful. Like, I don't know.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now that we have all been cautioned in this committee hearing that the mention of Pentagon's Immaculate Constellation program could put us on a list, well, I already find myself on many lists, I'm sure. So I speak my mind often, so why not just keep going with it? May as well just go all out and say it. The Earth is flat, birds are government drones, and we've never set foot on the moon, and Joe Biden received 81 million votes in the 2020 election. So let's just see how many lists we could get on here today.
Forget everything you've learned in school. Forget all the oppressive lies that led you to have false assumptions about the world you live in. Because, contrary to popular belief, the world is actually flat, and the sun is...
Imagine that. What would happen if the world was actually flat? As we all, well, most know, our world is an oblate spheroid. We might often portray it as a perfect sphere, but the centrifugal force that the Earth's rotation generates makes our planet carry a little more fat on the sides. The shape of our planets affects every aspect of our daily lives, from the day and night cycles, the seasons we go through, to the climates of different countries around the world. But what if the shape of our planet was different? What if the conspiracy theories about the world being flat were true?
And the Earth is flat. The Earth is flat.
My reality, my senses tell me that the Earth is flat and stationary.
This is Imagine That, and in this episode, we are going to imagine what would happen if the world was actually flat. It is one of many childhood myths we believed in that the ancient civilizations all thought the world was flat. Some truly did, but the Earth's spherical shape was figured out by astronomers, geometers, and navigators from ancient Greece and India. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. You can just go to the nearest shore and watch a ship's hull disappear into the water before the flags. Unless you believe every ship that sets sail sinks in a couple of minutes, which would mean you have a way more urgent problem to attend to than figuring out the shape of our world. So we more or less know what the Earth was shaped like long before Ferdinand Magellan circumnavigated the world. They didn't figure out everything, though. While we knew it was round and mostly blue, we didn't know how our planet looked from space before astronauts took a clear enough picture of it during the Apollo 8 mission in 1968. In his sci-fi classic of the same year, Stanley Kubrick had to guess what the Earth looked like from afar for the movie, and we would say he got pretty close. We have this much information at hand, and we have for a long time. Then why do some people still think the Earth is flat? Because, eccentric people need a way to express themselves, I guess.
We don't think the world's flat. We know that the world is flat because it is a law, actually.
First rule of Flat Club is you don't talk about Flat Club.
Let's get scratching.
But for this video, and this video only, we are going to assume they were right. But even that's not an easy task, because flat earthers are not a monolithic group. There are conflicting opinions on what the flat earth looks like. Some believe that Gleason's map is how the world is shaped with ice walls surrounding it. Some believe in a square and stationary earth. As you get deeper into the rabbit hole, the theories get more interesting, let's say. For the sake of argument, we will assume Gleason's map is how the world is shaped. In a flat world, gravity would work differently. People in the center wouldn't feel this as much, but as you move towards the edges, a force would pull you towards the center, and walking towards the edge would start feeling like climbing a steep hill. But once you got up that hill, you would be the first person to explore under the Earth, and whatever flat Earths believe is down there. A flat Earth would also mean all the water in the world would start moving towards the center, and our planet's edges would become considerably drier. The satellites would stop orbiting the Earth because, as we have said, gravity would work differently. That means no more GPS or accurate weather forecasts. Not that it was that accurate to begin with. You better enjoy the sunlight while you can, because in a flat Earth, the magnetic field surrounding our planet would disappear. Without our molten iron core, we wouldn't have our magnetic shield protecting us from the deadly sun rays. We would also have to say goodbye to the beautiful northern lights. We honestly don't know why people believe in a flat Earth. Most of the time, it is virtually impossible if they are being serious or not. So Poe's law still stands in this situation. What would the powers that be even gain by making us believe that the Earth is flat is also a point of contention. But our planet is fine the way it is, and let's hope it stays the way it is.